heard what Ramesh Chennithala has had to say, I'd like to rope in Mr. Ramaswamy Mayappan. There were a lot of incidents of effigies of certain senior Congress leaders such as K.C. Venugopal having been burnt. This was also pointed out by G. Sridhatan earlier. A lot of the allies in the UDF, including the IUML and their cadres, had engaged in this. So, in your assessment, what really was the key factor behind picking VD Satheesan? Because we do know that Rahul Gandhi favored K.C. Venugopal. Was it the fact that VD Satheesan has been viewed as a grassroots architect, or was it more of the allies applying pressure on that front? And if it's the latter, how in your assessment will Satheesan sort of tackle this and strike a balance between the different allies in the UDF?
Bharat Mata ko aur Bharatvaasiyon ko mera namaskar. Congratulations to the Kerala Congress and the UDF coalition for forming their government today, for the Chief Minister and the 20 cabinet ministers that are going to be sworn in. But from the point that you said, let me start with saying VD Satheesan had to be appointed by the Congress. There was no other choice for primarily two reasons. One, VD Satheesan would not have accepted any other office other than the office of Chief Minister. That's something that he's been demanding, he's been strong and vocal about. And some of the grassroots workers of the Congress have also been vocal about it. And that is one of the major factors that the Congress had to side with him. Because I'm quite certain Mr. Ramesh Chennithala, K.C. Venugopal, and several others who were vying for the office would not have favored any, would not have preferred Mr. VD Satheesan taking the office, but one of them being there. But another key role for him to be able to convince the remainder of the Congress is that the support of the alliance. He's someone who can reach across the board, not just within the alliance, but across the alliance also. So if there were an issue tomorrow, there is some instability, there is some administrative inconvenience, all of that is something that VD Satheesan can deal with. In fact, when we look at the 20 odd names that we are looking at taking office today, there is a balanced approach that is taken in. The 11 from the Congress itself is a very balanced approach. The Congress has ensured that other power plays are honored. They are being given key portfolios, like the Home Ministry being given. We just heard from him. He's going to be happy about it, but he's also going to keep the Chief Minister on check. So something that you would have normally seen as a honeymoon period for a new government coming in, especially after 10 year of opposition rule, where they can give a few things and then their promises can be fulfilled a little bit later, but both the public and the Congress party themselves and the alliance partners will keep VD Satheesan running. So today I think the swearing in is somewhere between 10 and 11. I think by 12 noon he starts to hit the desk and he's got to start signing immediately. I don't think there is a honeymoon period where he can wait and say, in a couple of weeks I'll decide on the first few manifesto promises. Both from the Kerala Congress, what were the manifesto promises, the UDF's combined minimum program, and then Rahul Gandhi's 5 famous promises, all these will come into play right away. And if Rahul Gandhi's promises are not looked at, that will be a key card that the remainder of the Congress will hold, saying he's not looking at what the Congress's benefit streams are, what is Rahul Gandhi's power stream, and that will be K.C. Venugopal's power play as well. So that will require Mr. VD Satheesan to first start with his coastal connection program, with his trade connection program, with improvement of basic rights. The Ilava communities also supported the Congress a large scale this time. We can see that in a few tribal leaders or people coming from tribal communities being appointed cabinet ministers. In fact, you spoke of Tulasi teacher. Tulasi teacher has a long sway within the community and her integrity also plays a role. So these are names that VD Satheesan will have to keep close confidence with and ensure that certain policy measures are delivered within the first few weeks. And his first few signatures are going to be key. We saw previous instance being set both in West Bengal and in Tamil Nadu. Actually, we have to include Assam also there. The chief ministers, after being sworn in immediately, making necessary government appointment and signing in on a few key programs immediately thereafter. So those are going to be things that Kerala is also going to be looking forward to. The public will be looking forward, and even more key is going to be the power struggle within the Congress.
Absolutely. Before I rope in Mr. Shekhar Vijayan, who's been waiting rather patiently, we do have some further breaking updates coming from the ground. We're now learning the Chief Minister designate VD Satheesan has now arrived at the Thiruvananthapuram airport to welcome the dignitaries who are arriving today to attend his swearing-in ceremony. Remember, Mallikarjun Kharge will be present, Rahul Gandhi, Priyanka Gandhi Vadra and Chief ministers from Congress-ruled states and several other senior leaders from the Congress party are all expected to arrive in the city today. On that note, we're also learning that Telangana Chief Minister Revanth Reddy has arrived in Thiruvananthapuram as of now. Of course, a show of strength by the Congress today. Mr. Shekhar Vijayan, I'd like to rope you into the discussion. As I mentioned earlier, you've been waiting rather patiently for your turn as well. There's been an interesting distribution of the portfolios. A total of 21 members are going to be forming the cabinet, which will include 11 from the Congress, 5 from the IUML, and representations from other UDF allies, including the Kerala Congress factions, the Jacob faction, the RSP, the CMP as well. How do you view this distribution? And to add to that, we did see, the prior Pinarayi Vijayan-led government faced a lot of pressure, and the anti-incumbency was also due to a lot of corruption scandals marring his tenure, including the gold smuggling case, the Exalogic solution scam as well. So how do you think the UDF government under VD Satheesan, who's got the mandate, are going to now live up to the expectations of the people of Kerala?
Yeah, thank you for having me over, and good morning to all my fellow panelists. I think it's an interesting day today in Kerala politics. See, winning elections in Kerala is difficult, and governing Kerala is even more difficult. It just goes to show, and the fact that VD Satheesan has come in and marked this turnaround. So he's been an opposition leader. He's been a strong voice for Congress. Now, what's imperative for him is to get all these different voices together and form a government, which is certainly not easy. It's easy for us to talk about it, but for him, he has to literally walk the talk. The reason why he's been chosen as the chief minister, and the reason why I think Congress took such a long time in deciding who the chief minister faces, one is he's somebody who's very adaptable. The second thing is he has to work with different voices, because this is going to be the blueprint of politics in the future. You cannot win on your own. You might need coalition partners to work together. It's a lot of give and take involved here. And power is what everybody's looking at. So he's going to be managing different coalition partners, people from IUML, Congress, and different factions, and get them in together. The first 100 days is going to be very crucial for him, where he has to set the ball rolling. He has to show that, administratively, as a leader, he's very clear about what he wants. See, he's a lawyer by profession. He's a good speaker. He raises very interesting points, raising very important points, and he raised that in the assembly too. What's important for him is to now walk the talk. What's important for him is now to work like a leader and get people around him. Because like I said, winning elections is not easy in Kerala. Governing is even more difficult. But what is even more important is, your Kerala's educated literate will not give him much time. There'll not be a honeymoon period for him that he'll get some time to soak in his heels. It's going to be very quick, because they really want action. And from the interviews which I've seen, from his talking points, I think one thing is very clear. He's been talking a lot about brain drain. He's been talking a lot about, youngsters wanting to study abroad. He has been wanting to have a look at the universities which are there in Kerala, because education is going to be really important. So his points, especially, are around Gen Z, in terms of employment opportunities, migration, what are the welfare schemes you have in offer. And Kerala is moving to that mode now, because you see, all other states are looking at being prosperous. All other states are not looking at being ideological, but they want to get into action mode. And it's very important, but people are also demanding it. So his game plan has to also change. It won't be like the past. If he's adept and quick on his feet, he can, really make changes here. He's got the support of his coalition partners. And from the looks of it, he's been managing them quite well till now. But once, once the swearing in starts, you will know how things really are. Because in Indian politics, nothing is permanent and nothing is temporary. Everything just, it all depends on so many other factions working together and coming in together. But he's got a great opportunity here to create history, because this is, UDF coming after 2 full terms, after 10 years. So he wants to make a difference. And the only way he can do that is by working together with different people, being collaborative, not being combative. Also, I would suggest that he should be more collaborative with the central government. Historically, I've seen that in Kerala governments, the state governments have been very combative with the central government because of ideological differences. he should, or I think every minister should ideally work in tandem with the central government. Ideological differences aside, it's very important to work like that because Kerala should not feel alienated also. That's also important. Kerala on its own is a very literate country. Kerala is incredible. But what's also important is for them to work together with other parties, with other governments, with the central government, and try to make a difference here. That's the only way he can do well because the first 100 days is going to be very crucial. And we have seen that it's almost like having a company. He has to be very entrepreneurial. He has to understand what his team wants, what his team needs, and then work basis on that. He has to understand that people come in different mindsets, different skill sets, and different factions, different ideologies. How does he take that flock together is important because one for all for one. Because if they don't win together, then I think the entire state loses. This is also a mandate he's got from the people of Kerala. Like Vijay got a mandate, and the same way VD Satheesan has been known as being the opposition voice. So it's very important for him to understand that he's not the opposition now. He's the leader now. So he has to walk the talk. He'll also have a strong opposition, which will be at his heels. It won't leave him so easily, right? So because LDF won't come back to power also. So it's going to be very important for him to assert his authority and to take his team along with him.
Absolutely. We're tracking some further breaking updates from the